Your thoughts? What? What? Who? Nice.
There you are, and happy Friday. It's the 28th day of June at 9:03. It's our daily show. CJ Nasello here with you on RiverBender.com and Roku TV. We got a great show for you. And coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking to Leah Becoat in 3 Purple Coats production. She joins us around 10:30, and we're going to get the latest from this really great production company and talk about some shows that they have coming up at the Alton Amphitheater. We'll get all the ins and outs of that and so much more. Then at 10:45, Daniel Nosce will join us from Lewis and Clark Community College. Last year, Daniel joined us to fill us in on Summerfest, and this turned out to be such a great event. They're doing it again. Daniel's coming back in to fill us in on all the sights, the sounds of it, what day it's happening, when we can bring our families out and just enjoying the fun. That comes down the pipeline in the next 2 hours. But at 9:03, let's just kind of jump right into this today. We'll take you to top of the hour news now. Make sure you sign up for your daily email update. You can join myself and over 70,000 people that are in the know each and every day of the work week and on Saturdays with around the Riverbend. We'll take you to Granite City first. This is developing early this morning. A high-speed chase involving a Dodge Ram pickup truck ended in a fatal crash Thursday evening, according to the Granite City Police Department. Here's the latest. The incident began at approximately 8:05 p.m. on the 27th of June, yesterday, when officers attempted to stop the truck traveling southbound on Illinois Highway 3. The driver, whose identity has not been released, refused to stop and fled from police at a high rate of speed. Granite City Police said due to the reckless manner in which the truck was being driven, the police discontinued their pursuit and lost sight of the vehicle. However, shortly thereafter, the truck was involved in a single vehicle crash on Niedringhaus Avenue near 16th Street. The driver was pronounced deceased at the scene by the Madison County Coroner's Office. The Illinois State Police Traffic Crash Reconstruction Unit responded to the scene to investigate the crash. No further comments have been made at this time, Major Gary Brooks of the Granite City Police Department said to RiverBender.com. Also in the news today, the Alton Fire Department and Alton Police Department responded to a rollover traffic crash at the intersection of Homer Adams Parkway and Albee Street around 10 a.m. yesterday. A truck and a car collided at that intersection, resulting in the truck overturning. Emergency responders, including at least one ambulance, were called to the scene. The traffic was slowed as first responders managed the crash site and provided assistance. Details regarding the number and severity of injuries remain unknown at this time. The Alton Police Department currently investigating the incident to determine the cause of the collision. In Glen Carbon, the Glen Carbon Olive Garden has become one of the highest-rated Olive Garden franchises in the United States, according to Price Listo, which analyzes and rates business prices. The Glen Carbon location is ranked 7th among 880 Olive Gardens nationwide, with 167 Google reviews and 72.4% of them being 5 stars. The Olive Garden stands out for its exceptional experience. Manager Ellie Price expressed her excitement and gratitude for the community support since the restaurant opened in late February. Situated in the Orchard Town Center complex, the restaurant's consistent wait lists and positive feedback, well, that highlights the team's hard work and dedication. Also in the news today, A 21-year-old woman from Florissant, Missouri, named Jakaya T. McCoy, is facing federal charges after alleged involvement in a robbery at the Best Buy in Edwardsville last December. McCoy had been indicted on multiple counts, including transportation of stolen vehicles, interference with commerce by robbery, and unlawful possession of a machine gun. Authorities allege McCoy stole Apple iPads, a hoverboard, and other items by force, and possessed a Glock pistol with a machine conversion device. If convicted, she faces significant prison time. McCoy's arraignment is scheduled for July 8th at the federal courthouse in East St. Louis. In response to a recent sinkhole at Gordon Moore City Park, New Frontiers Materials, alongside the Mine Health Safety Administration and the City of Alton, are actively working on remediation efforts. Alton Mayor David Goins emphasized the priority of citizen safety, announcing that the impacted area will remain off limits until the comprehensive inspections are completed. Operations at the site have ceased, with MSHA directing all access to the being prohibited pending further analysis. Both geological experts and New Frontier Materials are conducting thorough investigations to ensure public safety. Residents are advised to avoid the park until it is officially declared safe. Please do so. Also in the news, in North County, the deceased have been identified in a double homicide that occurred on Roderick Drive in North County, St. Louis. Tyrese Mosley, 25, and Amia Robinson Smith, 18, were found with gunshot wounds in a vehicle and pronounced deceased at the scene. The St. Louis County Police Department responded to a shot spotter alert and are investigating the incident. Currently, no suspects are in custody. Authorities urge anyone with information to contact the St. Louis County Police or Crime Stoppers to remain anonymous or potentially receive a reward. The investigation remains ongoing, and guests and updates will be provided as more details do become available. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the St. Louis District, is closely monitoring river levels following heavy rainfall upstream along the Mississippi and the Illinois rivers. Recent precipitation has caused high water levels in areas near Illinois. As of this morning, water levels at the Melvin Price Lock and Dam are 14.41 feet. Grafton is at 21 feet, and St. Louis is at 18, all below flood stages. Joan Stemler, Chief of Water Control Operations, stated that no significant impacts are expected, but the Corps will remain vigilant. Recreational users should stay updated about flood warnings, and boat operators should exercise caution. More rain is forecasted, potentially causing minor flooding in low-lying areas. Motorists must avoid flooded roads for safety. Previously unidentified brick streets have been emerging in Alton as city officials aim to pass guidelines for their possible preservation. As the pavement covering these hidden brick streets wear off, the Alton City Council is reviewing each one and potentially adding them to the list of protected brick streets and alleyways. The new guidelines require restoration using vertified brick. The resolution passed on Wednesday introduces an ordinance for the newly uncovered brick street to be reported to the City Council for restoration decision. The council voted 5-1 in favor, with Alderwoman Stephanie Elliott opposing and Alderman David Gahn absent. Finally, in the news this morning at 9:10, Piston Aviation invites the community to explore the world of flying this Sunday, June the 30th, at the St. Louis Regional Airport in Bethalto. From 12 to 5 p.m., attendees can tour the flight school, converse with certified flight instructors, and take a discovery flight for $50 to see if flying is right for you. Dak Quickly, who oversees the school, emphasized that Piston Aviation focuses on developing pilots into leaders by nurturing confidence and personal growth. With financing options available, the cost of commercial pilot's license is significantly lower than that at other schools. The event is free, excluding that discovery flight. Let's take a look at weather. It's 77 degrees. It feels like 81 out there today. Mainly cloudy, breezy this afternoon. And tonight, breezy this evening, otherwise partly to cloudy and humid with a thunderstorm or two later on. We have a 25% chance of rain right now in the area. A high of 87 degrees today awaits us. A low of 72 is what we'll see this evening. On Saturday, a high of 89 degrees, a low of 66, 80% chance of precipitation with thunderstorms predicted on Saturday. On Sunday, a high of 82 degrees, a low of 56, and on Monday, a high of 80, a low of 64, and on Tuesday, a high of 90, a low of 72. You can stay up to date in real time all the time at RiverBender.com/weather or just call 618-465-4545. That's the time and temp line, and you can stay up to date in that way as well. Hey, get your tickets for Alton Little Theater's 91st season, the Ultimate Live Theater Experience, 5 shows. 5! For just $85. Think about that. Making God Laugh, A Christmas Carol, The X's, the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, Women of a Certain Age, all hit the stage this year as Alton Little Theater celebrates 91 years of being a staple right here in the Riverbend. Season tickets are available until August 31st, and you can save big with $85 for 5 shows. You wouldn't get that price anywhere else. $85 is parking in most places in St. Louis. You call 618-462-3205 to get connected with the Little Theater and get your tickets today. And don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over their way. We'll take a quick break, but we'll come back with more of our daily show. Let's take a look at downtown Alton. We'll come back with more after this.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team.
We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. You know, why not some Bee Gees? What the hell? 10:34. Welcome back. Daily show hitting you on a Tuesday morning. It's 85 degrees outside, 135 down in this basement, and Evelyn King's here to fill us in on the book. So you've been waiting on this for quite a bit.
Yes, I've been working on this this book specifically since, I want to say November.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually a pretty short turnaround.
Yeah.
But the length of the project and the details going into the project are insane. That's what's taken the most time.
Yeah, because I know that you were looking for someone to do some cover photos for you and some illustrations.
Yeah.
And I'm not a drawer, so I couldn't really help
Me
you.
neither. That was my thing too. I was like, let me write a children's book. Let me make it this super important, impactful thing. Oh wait, I can't draw. So that took a while, but we've got that squared away. I've got someone that we actually went to high school with, Shannon Willis, is
cool,
working
yeah.
on it.
Really cool.
And the style that she's doing it in is very kid friendly, almost kind of like a child did it, like in the most positive way.
I was about to say there, hold on here. She's not done yet. I'd wait until she sends them back.
Right. Not to be like, she draws like a child. Not what I'm saying. But
It's that vibe, though.
it's that vibe,
Yeah.
and that's ideal.
Well, to be honest with you, that's kind of a difficult style, too, because when you're
Yeah.
talented and kind of simplify it, I'm sure that can be a little bit tricky sometimes.
Yeah, and that was kind of what I was scared about with getting someone to illustrate with the book was I'm not a children's book writer. This is my first ever children's book. I write fantasy novels. So just doing the writing part of it was really difficult for me. I didn't want there to also be like super complex illustrations that would be a little too overwhelming for a kid that would then kind of drown out the story and the purpose of the book.
Well, you're right, though, because, I mean, honestly, we all look at a children's book and go, oh, I can do one of those, but you don't realize how many complexities are really in that one page that says the dog jumped the fence, but you don't see how it all kind of ties in together to keep them engaged and excited.
Right. You have to use like simple words, but also keep it engaging for them. And like, I think luckily since I'm a mom now, I was better able to be like, let me go grab a book off my kid's shelf and compare it, see if I'm using too big of words.
Well, that's a good call, though, because what happens is, too, and I think that's a good testament, you can't just go out and do something and say, well, it's done and I'm ready to go. Sometimes you can get the best advice by doing the most simple things, like working with some of the things your daughter's already doing.
Exactly. So that's been nice to have those resources right around the corner.
So how did the idea start? I mean, obviously, Lucy's Playhouse has been there forever, and we've all, I might have had an idea, not all of us, about maybe doing something with it. Not a book per se, but just going, man, that's a landmark. What made you really spur the creative bug and start writing about the Playhouse?
So it was middle of the night. I could not sleep. And I was honestly procrastinating my other book series. And I just didn't want to work on it. And I was like, a kid's book would be fun. And I've had so many people suggest that I write a kid's book since I became a mom. I was like, what would I even write it about? Like, kids' books usually have a lesson to them, something to teach. I was like, history. Like, Alton's history is so important to me. And that's something that even my daughter's almost 2. Like, I still go out of my way to, like, take her to antique stores and take her to local historic landmarks. And we had just gone to Haskell Park that day. So I was like, let me write a book that uses Haskell as a setting, uses Lucy as a character, and teaches children that history around us is so important and that we need to protect it.
Well, and honestly, it spawns more of a conversation than just protecting, too. It's more of a love where you live and actually stay here conversation.
Yes,
because,
that too.
Evelyn, we have nobody left in our age group around here.
It's just us. It's just me and you.
Well, it feels like it, though. I mean, if you look at, like, Alton High School that has a class of 700 by the time you and I were graduating, and, you keep going down, it's like, where the hell are these people? We have opportunities here. We have so many things, but we have no young people to really come and support.
Yeah, and that was, so I moved away for years.
Right.
I lived in Ohio, and then I lived in St. Louis, and I lived in Kansas City, and I loved my time away. No one ever believes me, but there is no place like Alton.
There's not.
Like, that is why we came back. That's why I settled down, bought a house, had a kid, got married, like the whole thing, because Alton sticks out.
Yeah.
It's unique. People always want to say, there's nothing to do here. There's the same 10 people that you see or the same 2 bars you go to. And it's like, no, there's so much history and there's so much growth happening. There's so much progress that we can all make. The community is so involved and so lovely and so amazing. And I think highlighting these things that, Haskell Park to us is just the park in Middletown.
Right.
But if you think about it a little bit harder, it's special.
Yeah.
And it adds to the magic of this town.
Well, and too, I mean, you're so right about that, and it's amazing to me because I've gone all over with wrestling and soccer and everything else and had fun doing it, but eventually you realize that those same two spots that you're talking about here, everyone's got those same two spots in no matter what town. You could be in New York City, but guess what?
Yeah.
There's going to be those same two spots.
Exactly.
But you can't change the people. And the people in this town are why I keep coming back, because there's amazing community roots and there's a wonderful atmosphere. And you realize that there's not going to be another Johnson's Corner. There's not going to be another Max or downtown or a Hainer Library. There's not. It's here. So let's come here and let's really establish and let's support.
Yeah, exactly. And I think sharing that
that's cool.
with like young parents and then also like the children that are growing up in Alton, they need to learn that somehow.
Yeah.
And it's integral that we teach them that.
It's really cool. And now with the book, take me through this. So I'm just going to, I'm going to kind of do my worst at thinking, which is probably normal for me. Is this like, Genevieve goes into Lucy Haskell Playhouse and it takes her back in time somewhere?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hell yes! Okay! I was thinking about this all day, and I'm like, what's this book about? And that's what my mind immediately went to.
Yeah, so you're essentially right on the nose. It's basically Genevieve and her mom have been up at Haskell Playhouse playing all day, and it's based on something my mom and I used to do. They go home, and Genevieve's really upset that she can't play with the toys that are in the Lucy Haskell Playhouse. And so Genevieve's mom is like, well, let me tell you a story about Lucy Haskell and why we can't play with those toys. And so Genevieve has a dream that she goes on a play date with Lucy in 1890. And so it goes on.
That's actually really cool.
It's fun. I think it's good.
Do you have a moment to stick around? I got to pay another bill here real quick. We're getting a lot of sponsors. That's a problem. Good problem. And, it's always a good problem when you have sponsors like Haug Orthodontics, who's tried and true in the 618 and has been for years. At Haug Orthodontics, their mission is to perform a warm, family-friendly office environment with doctors and a team dedicated to your satisfaction and clinical excellence. Now, their passionate, diverse, and experienced team is committed to that high-quality customer care. And listen, whether or not it's braces now or Invisalign next summer, there's so many options that can help you create that unforgettable smile and help with your self-confidence, help with your child's, and all of the benefits that come with it. You can go to unforgettablesmiles.net. That'll take you to the office of Dr. Haug, or just give them a call today. You can do so if I can do my job correctly and give you the right phone number. 618-463-7002. That's 618-463-7002. Call the office, set an appointment, and make sure that you're doing the best for your child's or yourself's orthodontic care. And just make sure you tell them that you know who sent you over their way. At 10:43, a quick break. We come back with Evelyn right after this.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Welcome back. Evelyn King in the building. And the rest of my hair straight down my eye. I literally have like a sweat that all hairspray in my
No.
Genevieve and the Magic Haskell Playhouse is coming out mid-July. Now, for all you guys that want to kind of get a better image of this, let's see if I can do this the right way. This is always dangerous. There you go. Here's the cover of it. That looks beautiful. Now, Ben Harrison did that, correct?
Yeah, Ben Harrison did that. That was one of the drawings that he had done, and I asked him for his permission to use it because I love his artwork, and I love that drawing. I think it's just the most beautiful portrayal of the Playhouse.
Yeah.
And he very, very kindly is allowing me to use
He's a
it
good
for the
guy.
cover.
He's a good guy.
I love Ben. I actually bought his old house. That's not related to the book, but I owned his old
did
house.
you?
Yeah, that's how we know each other.
That's wonderful. Well, Genevieve and the Magic Haskell Playhouse is what we've been talking about. Now, you're setting this for tentatively mid-July?
Yes, it'll be mid-July. The Haskell Foundation will be posting on their social medias about a book signing. Don't want to throw out a date just because fingers crossed that everything goes according to plan since it's been a bit bumpy. But they'll be sharing a book signing that we'll be doing at the Playhouse.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And now, going forward, is there a way that like districts can get their hands on a copy or anything like that? Or are you going to be able to do mass production?
Yes, yeah. So it'll probably be easiest to contact me. I have a writing Facebook page. It's just Evelyn King Author. People can message me there, and I can do bulk orders. And we're planning on doing a few bulk orders in the beginning. I want to donate some to some of the schools.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. And what was the most difficult part of putting this together? Because, I mean, honestly, I think for me it would be actually just doing it because you think it's going to be something fun, and then all of a sudden you realize it's a little bit more. Is that kind of the thought process? I'm just trying to pick up a little bit here.
Honestly, it is. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than any other book that I've published, but it's actually been so much harder because there is the additional step of illustrating it. We're also doing a lot of charity work with the book. So 10% of proceeds will go to Jacoby, another 10 to Alton Area Landmarks. 10 will be split between Hainer Children's and Hainer's Genealogy.
Cool.
And then 10 to the Haskell Foundation.
Really cool.
So getting all of that set up has been kind of challenging to make sure that we're doing that the proper way.
Right.
And then I have plans to make a toy that goes along with the book. And I had this huge ambition. I was like, I'm going to sew all these toys by hand. So now I have to learn how to sew.
Is it the house?
No, it's a cat.
Okay, I was about ready to say,
No,
I don't know
I'm
how
not-
you sew a damn house
if
together.
I can sew a house.
It's like, I swear to God, I was like, what damn, how are you going to make a toy out of a playhouse? But that makes sense. So it's the cat.
Yeah, there's a little cat. I was obsessed with it as a kid. It's inside the playhouse. And did you ever see, I know like a lot of grandmas had them, the cats that are like this tall. It's just the shape of the cat.
Yep.
Just those old toys. We're going to do some of those.
You know, we did an interview with Margaret and, oh no, I love that woman to death. There was another lady I talked to, and I talk to them both every time we do the playhouse. So we were inside the playhouse doing the interview. It was fun, but we probably shouldn't have done that when it was 96 degrees outside in the middle of summer. Yeah. But you're right, though, to go inside of it and really see all those different artifacts and just a way that a young child could truly connect to life 100 years ago or 150, I mean, it's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, I always say that, like, I'm a huge antique collector. I'm a huge historian, especially when it comes to Alton. Life is not that much different.
Yeah.
And I think that's very humbling, but also can give you a lot of peace.
Yeah, and you know, this is off the topic of the book, but another thing that you do really well at is preserving your own history. Because I get so tired of these people that come into town and they want to buy this Victorian house, and what they do is they don't realize that you're not the owner of the home, you're just the steward for the next chapter.
Yes.
You know, and so I just kudos to you for restoring everything the correct way and not just slapping everything you want on there and just and becoming the owner. Because there's a certain way to live in Middletown, and you're doing it the right way. Seriously.
Thank you. Yeah, we that was another huge inspiration for the book was buying our Pfeifenberger last year and going through the restoration and preservation efforts of that, which has been crazy. But Lucas Pfeifenberger also built Lucy Haskell's Playhouse, so like it's, I don't know, protecting history is our responsibility, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And now the book signing would be at around middle of June as well.
Middle to end.
Okay.
Around the birthday party. We don't want to put out official dates yet, but
no.
Somewhere around there, they'll definitely be posting it on social media.
That's
really cool. It'll be fun. It'll be a great time.
Now, would you do this children's book again?
I am planning several more.
Okay.
It is going to continue to be around Genevieve. Genevieve is based on my daughter. The next one that I'm working on is going to be closer to Halloween, and it's called Genevieve and the Haunted McPike Mansion.
Oh, really cool.
So I'm working on that. That's exciting. It's about her and her friend meeting the ghosts of McPike Mansion and going back in time again to see the mansion in all of its glory.
That's awesome. Well, keep me updated.
I will.
I want to talk about it again. You guys can get your hands on a copy when they do come out, hopefully by the middle of July. And if not, just stay tuned to Evelyn King Author Facebook page and us, because I'm sure we'll release it too. But seriously, great work on this.
Thank you so
much. Cool that Shannon's the one doing that. That's a cool tie-in too.
Yeah, I'm excited.
With that being said, it's 10:53, and I got to take a quick break and wrap up the Tuesday that was right after this and get the sweat out of my eye on RiverBender.com and Roku TV.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. prices you can trust, and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
But it's too late, baby, now it's too late. Though we really did try to make it. Something inside has died and I can't hide and I just can't fake it. Oh, no.
Getting there. Yeah. About 2 years now on the show, but 6 total in media. And with that being said, welcome back, 1037. How about that? Dak in studio and Piston Aviation. How's everything been down there in Bethalda?
Oh, it's been awesome. Ever since we came in February and like just embraced by the airport, the pilots, the community. It's been awesome.
Well, and now take me through your day-to-day with Piston. What's that look like?
Well, we're pretty much there every single day, like open from 10 to 6, just people stopping by for random things. The airport hasn't had a flight school in like 30 years or 20 years or something, so it's become, there's been no gathering place for the airport itself. Pilots, people have planes and hangars, businesses coming through, all kinds of activity, but there's no hub of, connection. And so on one hand, we offer that. Our building used to be the old terminal for the airport, so it's kind of a central location. So all day long, it's a random carousel spinning door of lots of, older pilots, young pilots, new pilots, people with all kinds of interactions in aviation. But mostly we're focused on our students, building our school.
Well, I'm telling you what, if I had the confidence to fly, I mean, the opportunity that awaits you when it's all said and done seems like it's a pretty darn good one.
Oh, yeah. And that right there, part of our school that's different from other schools is that learning to fly can be challenging, it can be intense. Yeah. And then the biggest thing it takes is what you just said, it's confidence. And focusing just on the curriculum of flight will teach you to be a pilot. However, we focus on the whole person and on your thinking, your thoughts, your attitude, and surround you in an environment that you can believe in yourself.
Yeah.
So it's funny you said if I had the confidence, because we're the school for you, CJ.
Well, and I think there's so many others that could really benefit from just looking into it and giving you guys a call, because, I mean, I hate to throw this out on the air, but pilots make some pretty darn good money.
Oh my God, they make a lot of money. They make a lot of money. Even, when if you want to do aviation as a career, say you want to be a airline pilot, right? Everybody starts at a school like ours. Even if you want to fly a space shuttle, you start at a school like ours.
Really?
Everybody gets a private pilot license, and then you just keep going from there. So some people want to stop there and just fly themselves, but some people, want to be commercial pilots. So your next stop is commercial pilot. Once you have your commercial pilot's license, that's like 1.5 years. Pretty quick, 1.5 to 2 years to go all the way to commercial pilot. Wow. And at commercial, you come out of that with like 250 hours of flight. You need 1,500 to go to the airlines, but in the meantime, they become flight instructors. And flight instructors themselves, we pay double what most schools pay to their flight instructors because we want great people. and we pay for it, right?
That's awesome.
But our flight instructors themselves, it's an interim job on the way to where they're going, and they make, you know, $40 to $50 an hour. At 25 years old, our guys are, you know, making 60 grand a year. However, next step up, around 700 or 800 hours, you can get hired to be, you know, you could fly for UPS, you could fly for a company, executive corporate pilot, you could fly Taylor Swift around, right? Those people at that level, 900, 800 hours to about 1,500 hours, they can make 90 to 150 grand a year. But when you finally get to 1,500 hours and go to the airlines, the average pilot is making like 173 a year. And that's brought down because of flight instructors. There's a lot of flight instructors and they lower that curve. It really is 200 to 300. One of our flight instructors the other day got an email. He's 25 years old, standing outside. He looked at this email and then he deleted it. He swiped left and he said, "Call me back when your offer's 300. And I said, "What is that? What'd you just do?" And he said, "Oh, they want me to fly border security, which is going to the border and just flying up and down the border." They were offering him 125, or I think it was 150 grand. And he laughed at it. He scoffed at it and just deleted it and said, "Call me back when it's 300. And I was like, "Buddy, you are 25 years old."
If I made $150,000 a year, everyone would be in trouble in this town. I'm telling you that now.
Well, CJ, you can.
Don't tell me that with the boss.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, sorry, John, but I think CJ wants to be a pilot. Some people just want to be a pilot.
Yeah.
And they don't do it for the money. However, how many people, you know, look at that kind of money and think it's impossible or out of range, or even being a pilot, and it seriously is so attainable.
That's what I'm just, when you were talking, I'm kind of dumbfounded, to be honest with you, because when you were talking about those requirements, I'm thinking a year and a half, and then you're already making that money back because you're paying for school with your flight instructor, I'm sure, and everything else.
So even that right there, we have financing available. Like at our school, we call it 0 to hero, which is starting with nothing and getting all the way to commercial. In the industry, and even around here, the average for that costs about 100 to 130 grand in order to get that commercial license, right? At our school, it's 75 grand. We offer financing as well. And even in the financing, the way that is set up to be paid back, you don't pay anything for 6 months, and then you pay a very little bit. And as your income increases, your monthly payments on your repayment go up. However, it's very possible somebody with not a super high credit score to get financing and be off on creating this dream career that many people make up reasons that it's not possible.
Well, and that's what I think's really cool. We got Soph running around behind. Let's do this because I want to talk about Discover Day, and this is where you can discover if you really want to fly. We'll come back. We'll talk more about piston aviation. We'll go wrangle up Soph, and if not, then we'll be on UPI in the odd news section. You stay there. We'll stay here. It's 10:44, and we'll be right back.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. when you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Everybody got somebody to lean on. Put your body next to mine.
A little bit of traveling Wilburys because you could be traveling all around the country if you get your pilot's license. How about that? Let's go fly the head. See, I did there. See, that's a little bit of Jennifer Blome rubbing off on me. You know, join Piston Aviation for introduction flights and these really important talks with instructors and the leadership team with limited flights available. And this first opportunity is, well, in 4 days on June 30th. And this starts at noon. It runs until 5 p.m. What can folks expect on Sunday?
Yeah. Well, we just open the doors, lay out food and drinks. We all are there. All of our CFIs will be there.
Yeah.
And all of us will be there. So people can come in, tour the facilities, because they're super amazing.
Mhm.
We have probably the coolest flight school ever.
Do you have that arcade back there? Is that the Death Star, or was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember Megan talking about it.
Oh, it's so cool. It's the Star Wars game. You get inside it and sit in a cockpit. And
That's okay.
you fly missions in Star Wars jets. Yeah, it's so cool. There's a bunch of games. We have a bunch of flight simulators on PS5. And you should see it. It's super cool. It looks like you're in a spaceship when you walk in our arcade.
Just another incentive, you know.
Yeah. Well, one of our values is fun.
Yeah.
Because we think, you know, it's serious business, but it's super fun and super cool to be a pilot.
Yeah.
And so that's why we make the place fun and cool. So it's really amazing to see the amount of effort they put into building the school. But everybody's welcome. There's tons of places to hang out, huge windows that look right at the runway. So you can tour the facilities, meet us, and also we're doing discovery flights. So it's $50. You can fly for almost an hour with a CFI.
Wow.
And literally, like you, who's like, I don't know that I have the confidence. Literally, if you got in the plane and said, I want to do the takeoff, your CFI would tell you how to do it, and you would take off. You could do the entire flight, and you could even land it. And seriously.
And never touching a darn plane before.
Never been in one before. You can fly it. Some people do that.
Wow.
When I went on a discovery flight, the instructor said, here, now you take the reins. And I just looked at him and said, why? Like, what? You're the pilot. Why would I fly it?
See, what I would do is I'd say, hey, I just went blind for a second. Can you just grab this real quick, you know?
Well, yeah, they have their own control.
It's like a driver's ed car, right?
Yeah,
Almost.
even more intense because they have to, you know, it's
save our
serious.
lives if something ever happens.
Totally.
Well, and in this, how can folks really get immersed? What are they going to get out of the conversations with instructors? Can they sign up on Sunday?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you know, everybody's got a different dream, and then everybody has a different.
Oh, hold on. Whoa, we got breaking news. There's a mine collapse at Gordon Moore. I just got a picture. Hold on real quick. This is breaking news. Is this photoshopped? Can we get a? Hold on. I'm gonna stand by. I'm so sorry, Dak, but this is at Gordon Moore Park. what I'm showing you. Okay, I have this. Let me pull this up on the screen here. Sorry, folks. We're going to go picture in picture. We're going to try to... Dan Brandon, if you're up in your office, can you go try to check on this? Dak, real quick. This is at Gordon Moore. I just had this sent to me. This is a sinkhole at Gordon Moore.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness is right. That is a mine collapse. This is breaking news, folks. Dan Brandon, if you're upstairs, can we get some clarification on this? Just tuning in, we're going to show that picture one more time and get back to Piston Aviation. But breaking news this morning, it appears, I got this sent to me from a pretty close source. That is a sinkhole at Gordon Moore on those brand new turf fields. Wow.
Incredible.
It's due to what we have been told is a mine collapse. We'll keep you updated as more details do emerge. But news team, if you're upstairs, please get me some confirmation on that before 11 a.m. Thank you. Back to the show and Dak. Wow.
Jeez.
Wow.
That looked like a soccer field.
That was their brand new turf soccer fields.
Oh my God, brand new. It didn't look like there were any people around.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated, folks. But getting back to this, as we have to write our article still. So whenever people can sign up, right?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, and whenever they're going through this, are you a pilot?
No. Not.
Okay, so this is cool.
Yeah.
So how do whenever you're learning, are you learning?
Not yet.
Not yet. That's okay. So whenever you're talking to folks, I like that because there's a common denominator there when you're talking to those individuals.
Yeah.
What do those conversations look like?
Well, I come to this. Megan and Joe are who started Piston, and I met them in my classes years ago because I taught personal development seminars. And basically, I would teach you how to think and how to create a dream and then create your dream into a reality. So I like talking dreams, right? And especially the big things that people usually have big resistance built up to. Lots of stories as to why I can't. I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm not smart enough, I'm not confident enough, I'm not pretty enough, whatever. And so that's what brought me, that's why they came to me and said, hey, will you run our school? Because half of the whole business is having the dream and learning how to fly the plane, doing the mechanics, learning the rules and the regulations and how to maneuver the machine.
Yeah.
But the bigger part, or equally as big at least, is, believing in yourself and forgiving yourself if you make a mistake or fail at something.
Yeah.
Or not being so hard on yourself or enduring the long journey. So that's the stuff I love because we actually deal with your thought processes. No matter who you are, no matter what level of capable you are when you come in, our job is to get you to the end goal of your pilot license or your commercial license and then off into the industry. Not just being a pilot. We say we don't just make pilots, we create leaders who happen to be pilots, right? Because your life isn't just being a pilot. Pilot is part of your life, but most people don't deal with that part.
Yeah.
And so what I do at the school is, talk to people about what is your dream, but also what are all the beliefs you have that are stopping you from being able to achieve it. And then even once you do begin the journey, what's stopping you from achieving it at the highest level possible for you right now and growing, So we talk growth, life, dreams, vision, but also fear, reality,
I got to ask you this question. How many times does someone say, does some new pilot, if they want to go commercial, if that's really the dream, is there a nervousness of being responsible for 170 plus passengers? Because that to me would be where I start to get nervous. Because even though I can drive myself anywhere, I get nervous when someone's in the car with me and I got precious cargo.
I do. I get that. My dog's.
Well, Sophie's like, listen, you almost made me fall off the chair once today, pal, But is that a conversation that's had every once in a while?
I don't hear it talked about that often.
Yeah.
Partially because, maybe at the very beginning, probably before you start, that's possibly a thing that stops a lot of people. However, once you get in, and even learning at the beginning, the laws that create flight, the law of lift alone, right? it's literally just science.
Yeah.
That if you apply all the right scientific methods and theories, that plane will take off, and then it will stay in the air no matter what the situation is. So I think even after your discovery flight, you realize like, oh, it's not magic. It's literally just science. It works no matter how big the plane is, how many people you put in it. If you can fly yourself, you could fly 1,000 people on a plane.
That's true.
Which I don't think they have them that big yet, but
Stay tuned.
300.
Have you seen the bark flights coming in?
What's that?
No. So have you ever heard of BarkBox? You have some dogs. BarkBox is they send you a monthly box every month with toys. Yeah. Now they're doing flights just for dogs and you and your dogs now.
Oh, I did see there was an airline that's just
$5,000 a ticket, Now on Sunday, if I go and don't want to take the flight, do I gotta? Is there still a cost to go and attend?
No, it's totally free.
Really cool. The only cost is going to be if you want that Discovery flight.
Yeah.
And is there a way to schedule those earlier? Do we need to call ahead of time?
Yeah, it's smart too, because we only have a few planes that I think we're gonna have 3 or 4 planes on Sunday and 3 or 4 CFIs. Last time we did about 60 Discovery flights that day. This Sunday we'll have less, but they can contact us. They can call me directly and schedule, or they can email us at piston.com or flypiston.com, or stop by and book it. But easiest is to contact me.
Absolutely. And what we're going to do is we aren't going to end the show yet just because I want to come back and just in case we get an update on Gordon Moore. But I'm really excited to see you guys over at Piston Aviation.
I want to see you fly on Sunday.
Well, you know what? I got to check my baseball schedule. I don't have to announce baseball. I'll be there because I say yes and get in trouble sometimes for saying yes. But Dak, what's your favorite part about being with Piston? It seems like the crew overall, the team's really just kind of tight, man. It seems like you guys have a good thing going.
That is the best part. I'd say the best part is working with Megan and Joe.
They seem like really good people.
They're so real.
Yeah.
They do the right things for the right reasons. They live from a strategy of win-win. So they're not in business to just win themselves, and they are focused on everybody winning and succeeding, and know that sometimes that takes a hug. And, sometimes it takes a kick in the butt, but they're so behind you and your success. They're phenomenal people and attract really amazing people. So a lot of environments in this industry are militaristic. Do it like this. If you didn't do it, there's something wrong with you. Get out. This isn't for you. But we say, the dream is the thing to covet and to support and nourish, and we have to work one-on-one with each person to find what they need to get them where they want to go for their reasons,
And that's what I think sets Piston apart, because whenever I knew you were coming on, even though I forgot to call you, I did look at other flight schools because I like to know how they operate.
Yeah.
But it's I hate to say this, it's almost too militarized at some of these other flight schools where it's kind of just a rubric, and it's just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But here I love this humanized approach where you're a team, and this is, to me, especially with becoming a pilot, that's the type of learning environment I would rather have, is somewhere where we can kind of mesh and we can have those conversations and talk about those things and get better together.
Yeah.
And you can have the opportunity to learn all about this on Sunday with Dak and Megan and Joe over there and the flight instructors.
And CJ.
And if I don't have a baseball game, I will be doing a Discovery flight.
And listen, I'll say this just to raise the temperature in the room. You can have your Discovery flight for free, CJ.
Uh-oh. We might have to figure this out and get down there. I'll see you out there then. I can't turn away a freebie. Actually, I might do that. That sounds really fun. Hey, shake on it, and we'll get a time set up, and I'll call and set my time up and do it. At 10:59, we are taking a brief break. We are not going to go anywhere until we get some clarification on this. This is kind of a bigger news story of the day, of the year, if this is true, and I believe it is, a mine collapse at Gordon Moore has caused the turf fields to look completely destroyed, and about $2 million worth of turf fields there. So we'll stay here. And we'll bring you all updated on the write-up for Piston Aviation. Discovery Days. Discover if you love to fly at the St. Louis Regional Airport, noon to 5 on Sunday, June the 30th. And I guess I'll see you there.
Yeah.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
It's a living thing. It's a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. What a terrible thing to lose.
Alrighty, I'm getting there. 9:18, little bit of change. It's not downtown Alton. This is Representative Amy Ellick. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, rolling with them today, you know.
It's a Monday, isn't it? I think.
It feels like it. That's all I know. Man, you've been busy up in Springfield and now getting back home for a little bit. It's got to feel nice just to get back in your own neighborhood.
It is very nice to be home. Yes.
And right off the bat, how has everything gone in this current session?
I would say it was a very hectic, chaotic session for me personally. I think just in general, the legislature is always very chaotic, but it was a very, very busy session.
Well, and fill me in on that, because I know we've talked about, to me, the big bill was the one with teachers where even though the student was 18, they couldn't be in a relationship or have, that type of contact. And that was obvious to me as being a no-brainer. But right now, as it sits, we're still fighting that battle.
Yes, we're still fighting that battle. So that was House Bill 4241, and this is my what I think of as like my most important legislation of the year. It makes it a crime for a teacher or educator or staff member to have sex with an 18-year-old or plus student. That's already a law for 17 and under, but we feel very strongly, based on cases even including in the area here, that no relationship of any sort like that is appropriate between a teacher and student, and that making it criminal is important because that puts something on someone's background check. So it got through the House unanimously. I'm telling you, it was a battle to get it heard in committee. It is Illinois legislature, the Democrats that control the legislature are against any type of penalties or new penalties for crimes or penalty enhancement. So I mean to tell you, it was a slog to get this through, and I'm so grateful that the committee chair finally let me have a hearing on it. I ended up doing some amendments based on some things he said, and then we came back, thankfully got a second hearing on it in committee, so that was a thrill. finally then was released to have it heard on the House floor. And I've always said all along, if you let me do it in committee and you let me hear it on the floor, it will pass, because who in the world would vote against that?
Right.
So it passed the House unanimously on April 19th. I couldn't have been more thrilled, but really the battle was just beginning again, because then it has to go through the Senate. So my Senate sponsor started with all of the same things that I had done, begging and pleading, like, let us hear this in committee. So the Senate ultimately did not take up the bill. So we now will be focusing our attention on the Senate all summer long and into the fall to make sure that they hear it. They can hear it in veto session, and we will likely have a lame duck session as well this year.
Well, and going back to just a little bit of what you said with the penalties and trying to get rid of some of those. I don't even know what really the proper term to call them. Take me to that, because for me, I mean, obviously there's some reform going on, and the whole Safety Act, and does that have anything to come into play with this when we're talking about penalties just across the board? Is there any type of correlation there?
I guess some. It's the same committee chairs that sort of control the flow of bills such as this that criminalize anything. So it is sort of the same people, the same players that have control over that process so much. Sadly, one committee chair can really make a difference as to whether your bill can get heard or not. And so I do truly appreciate the House committee chair that allowed me to hear it. I mean, we talked at length for a couple months before I finally got the opportunity. And then the day that I had my opportunity, I sat in the audience of the committee for 4 hours waiting for my turn, front row center, to make sure he knew I'm here. I will wait as long as it takes for me to hear this bill in committee, and he did. So we worked very well together on it. But in general, in Illinois, the Democrats feel that we have too many penalties in place in statute, and they don't like to add more. Yeah. So it's a very tough battle to get something like that through.
And it's good for us at home to kind of understand how that breaks down, because I'm sure so many of us think, well, why isn't it just getting done? Why isn't this going to the Senate floor? And there's a hoop step and a lot of red tape that it has to go through.
That is very true. And so once the bill got to the Senate, their staff reviews it. They present it to the Senate president, I presume, and the committee chair for the criminal committee. And I think, too, the timing of the process is once it got through the House and then over to the Senate, that's right in the thick of the budget talks. And the same committee chair who is on this criminal penalty committee would also have been their lead budgeteer. So I understand he probably was thinking, like, I don't have time for this right now. But like I said, now we know this, the next step is to get it through the Senate, and we have all summer and fall to make sure that we have our case heard in front of the Senate so that they'll call it. And I will say, too, there were 2 or 3 other bills on this topic. Not exactly this topic, but one was related to child abuse and grooming. Another one was related to victims' rights on cases such as these. And they also did not get through the Senate. So the Senate really was holding back on a lot on this topic. And I don't know, I think they felt it was controversial, which I don't feel like it's controversial at all.
No, it's very X and A, B even for me.
But I know there's another representative, a Democrat representative from up north, who had a very good bill related to grooming, and it got through the House.
Yeah.
But then it's still awaiting action in the Senate, too. So I think we are kind of keeping an eye on each other's legislation.
Well, and on top of that, too, because, I mean, it's great to have that insight on, some of the other things that are maybe just getting held up. And, there could be a correlation to the budget and everything else. But when it comes to technology and everyone's algorithm changing all over the place, and, honestly, it kind of freaked me out. I was over here working, and I was just, on RiverBender, and all of a sudden, McAfee had a pop-up, and I don't have McAfee, that said, you're on an illegal site. And I'm like, whoa, I'm on my news site. What's going on? I thought we were hacked. But to me, are there any talks about any of these companies that, can, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through Google, that can start really alerting authorities on, hey, he's on this site currently now. What can we do to stop it? Because it seems like it's always a year or two, a few months past the fact, and that victim's already been harmed.
I agree. And there are many child protection initiatives throughout the state. Some get through any given time and some don't. But you will see a lot of times the I wouldn't maybe say opposition, but the pushback is from groups such as the ACLU, who are very, I guess, powerful, and they make their opinion known on watching to see, what could be incriminating someone without, proper representation or proper investigation.
That makes sense.
Right.
Well, and it's just one of the other battles that you have to fight as a state rep. And,
Definitely.
One thing we don't talk about is it's very hard to do your job. And I'm not saying that because you're here or anything else like that. For the folks, I'm going, he's playing favorites. I'm not. Any rep, it's a very tough job. You have you have 6 months to a year to really work because you're always up for re-election or you're going to campaign eventually in the summer. How do you manage everything? Because that's got to be tough.
Yeah, so, I run every 2 years, so I'm on the ballot again in November, and it is just, whether in a year that I'm running or not, it is just juggling. It is juggling, the constituent services work with the legislative part and the training and the task forces and all the things that come along with the job. And then, of course, a personal life, too, and your family.
Right.
And so you're just basically, your balls are always in the air and you're juggling and you're just figuring out which one's going to fall that day.
I hate to do you know how many roughly are in your district by chance?
Each district in the state is around 110,000 people.
Wow. And, I was looking at something. I know we're going off topic, but we'll go back to the session. I was looking at whenever we first started Congress, it was like one rep was covering 32,000 people was basically the number. And now it just keeps growing and growing and growing. But, when you have a good staff like you do, too, it helps to be able to coordinate with your office and really line things up.
I have wonderful staff here in the district and in Springfield. I'm so lucky and so blessed that they are there to keep me on track, keep my schedule moving along, and to mostly, though, help constituents and make sure that people are getting good customer service. And that was really important to me from day one.
100%. And now going back to the session, let's go talk about it just overall. I know the big one was the bill that's currently going through the rounds in the Senate, and we're going to keep fighting for that one. But other than that, any other bills that you were working on that you wanted to share? I
do. I'm actually really excited. I had a very successful, and I think that's why the year was so busy and chaotic, but I actually had 8 bills that I passed through the House. So one of those is still in the Senate. 6 of those have passed both houses, so that means they will be going to the governor soon to be signed. And then one bill, it passed the House, and then when it went to the Senate, they took that language and put it into another bill. So that's still passed. So that should be signed any time now. So I had a very successful session, and if people say, you're a Republican in a super minority, how do you get things done? You work really, really hard, and you put forth smart legislation.
Well, and
that's how.
You're right, Amy. And on top of it, too, it's how you talk to people as well. And you're very apt to work with anybody as long as it's good business for the people.
Definitely. And I think, you know what, I didn't look, but I'm pretty sure all of these bills passed unanimously.
Did they really?
If not unanimously, I might have had a one no here or there, but they were very, very popular and made sense, and I do work the bills really, really hard.
And, take me through some of the bills, just because, we always get caught in our 9 to 5 and forget about all the work that you're doing, but fill us in on the bills that passed.
Well, one of the other ones that I'm really excited about came from some constituents, both here and south of the district. House Bill 4255 will allow tow trucks to begin using green lights along with their white and amber flashing lights. And I had been working with a local constituent on concerns that tow trucks are on the side of the highway and aren't able to be seen very well, especially in the daylight. And so actually I was working on a bill last fall, and then in November we had an accident on 255 where a tow truck driver was killed, and his name is Wade Bivens. And so the tow truck company that he worked for was trying to find ways to help on this matter because that is such a concern. So it's sort of just by chance we met up, and I met with a lady there, and she's just adamant, we've got to do something about this. So that kind of put more fuel in my, in my search for a solution. So what we ended up with was green lighting, and I worked very carefully with the state police and some others on the language in this bill, and they kind of helped me make it better.
Well,
frankly.
I'm sure that would have been very intricate.
Definitely very intricate, because they want, have to be very specific. But so that passed the House and then passed the Senate. Senator Harris, our senator here for the district, put that through the Senate for me, and it passed, and I'm thrilled for that.
And now with this law when it does go into effect, do we have to move over for those tow truck drivers now?
You have to do that anyway.
Okay.
Yes. So you should be doing that anyway when you see any type of emergency vehicle on the side of the road.
There you go. Because
but the legislation does kind of clarify that this is included in Scott's law.
Because I'm not being funny, but I was driving down, going into Edwardsville on 255, and I always get over because I have like an old man. I ain't going nowhere, and so I always get over. But there's always, for police, everyone gets over, but for tow trucks or for any of those type of like on-site saving vehicles like OnStar or any of the others, they just don't. They just kind of fly right by.
Right, and you absolutely should slow down and move over, and it's for the safety of those folks on the side of the road that want to go home to their families. And so I think with Wade Bivens' death and trying to do something that helps people going forward, I know it's been very rewarding to work on this topic.
Absolutely. Well, and too, I'm sure for the tow truck driver to feel like, hey, you know what? We are getting at least noticed and recognized that our job's dangerous too.
Exactly. There's some scientific information in there too that we had to kind of investigate through green lighting versus purple lighting versus this, that, and the other. So
Really?
it was a little interesting, like why green, and there is some scientific research to back.
Is it deal with like color
so,
blindness or anything like that?
It's not so much color blindness, but just how like the glare at nighttime, and then how conspicuous it is during the day. So there are some studies about that, and that's why we ended up going with green.
Really cool. And fill me in on the other bills that you're doing too. This is just great, Amy.
So the bill that I passed through the House and got included in a different bill that passed, it allows retired teachers to return to teaching in a subject shortage area without impairing their pension, and that's a very specific procedure that they have to go through to do that, both schools and the retired teacher. So that is going to help with this teacher shortage. It extends, it's a current program and extends it for 3 more years. So that's good. And then the Senate bills, let's see, training, State Board of Education wanted more training for school board members related to student outcomes, which of course is the most important thing. So that is going to happen. And then related to Medicaid and long-term care, there is a 5-year look-back period when someone applies for Medicaid, and it's very confusing, pretty complicated, and oftentimes people have to go and get an expensive attorney to try to help them figure out, can I qualify for Medicaid for long-term care? So the easy solution was to force the department to put more information on their website and to make the calculation known so that people don't necessarily have to go to an attorney and spend some of their money, and they can figure out what they need to do to get qualified for long-term care Medicaid.
Well, and a lot of these, Amy, it's really nice to know because a lot of these are just, for me, no-brainer bills are what I call them because, you can't expect someone who can't afford health insurance to go and pay for an attorney to fight for their health insurance.
That's exactly it. And, some like this is something that the Healthcare and Family Services could have done on their own, but they didn't, and they won't unless we tell them to. So we did that, but that was unanimous. And really, I had so many people say, my goodness, this is such common sense. Why haven't we done this before? And I said, well, exactly. That's why we're doing it now. And
good answer. Yeah. That's a good answer.
And then 3 other bills that started in the Senate with our Senator Erica Harris, and then I passed them in the House. One is related to the issue of litter along 255.
This was a big issue on our show.
Popular topic. So trucks leaving landfills must wash the trucks before they leave. So this has been in effect in other counties. Previously, it would be counties over 275,000 population or more. So we lowered that to 250. So that picks up St. Clair and Madison are the only 2 that this affects now to add to the list of counties that have to do this. So we are hoping that that's going to take effect and make sure that they're cleaning up so they're not getting that sludge all over our roads.
Well, we were celebrating you and Senator Harris that day. Rusty Wheat was fighting for a long time on this show, and he got to celebrate.
Definitely.
And it was needed. I mean, that's
definitely.
It really, and it's a good bill. It really is.
Yeah. I'm excited we got that through. And then let's see, another one of Senator Harris's bills, Truth in Taxation Notice. This is related to transparency of when taxing districts have to raise their taxes by a certain amount. They're supposed to notify people. So oftentimes you'll see that like in the fine print in the newspaper, but this would make sure that they're putting it on their website for at least 30 days and that they put it in a conspicuous place, not to hide it away. So that one is good for transparency. And then the last one was those AED devices that are life-saving devices that are in schools now, but and they're usually just near physical fitness facilities, but we want to make sure they're available near places where the other extracurricular activities are going on. So like, for example, the drama department might have a whole crowd of people watching something in the theater. It's really important that we have the access to those and that those don't get locked away at the end of the day in an office somewhere where somebody can't access them. Well, and that one was again, who would vote against that? We want to have those devices available.
Well, right, and that's just going through the gauntlet. It just seems like, you know, the two big ones are huge with the flashing lights, because that is needed. And honestly, you're right. During the daylight, you really don't see the red too much or that white in case even the brake lights being on because of the sun glare.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's huge. And then of course going forward, that big bill that hopefully the Senate takes up and a lame duck or going forward passes. But throughout the year, you know, it's hard to pick what you're most proud of. But you know, in terms of just operations, what are you the most proud of instead of bill-wise?
I would say just customer service in the office, trying to help people solve some really intricate problems that, I mean, no case is ever the same as the case before.
Right.
And so just working with people to try to find the best solution, and we do our absolute very best. And if we can't find the answer, we try to find who can find the answer. And we just really do our best to do that and be available to constituents.
One thing I wanted to note too is that you and Senator Harris really work well together.
We do, yeah.
And you know, people don't understand that's normally, you know, that's a pretty good thing to have. That doesn't happen all the time, where your state rep really works hand in hand, you know, with your state senator and vice versa. Take me through that partnership.
Sure, we do, and we knew each other before. So she was elected in 2022, so just took office a little over a year ago, January of 2023. But we did know each other before, but not, I mean, she was on the county board, but we didn't have like that just baked in working relationship. So when she came in, like she has just done a fantastic job representing the communities here. And we would, especially when, you know, we're often at the same place.
Right.
Obviously, we get invited to the same things. But we also, especially when we're in Springfield, we're constantly in communication about, hey, such and such agency contacted me and they're needing this. And we go back and forth on trying to work together to find the best solution. Or when we're voting too, we watch each other's voting record, and if we're thinking something different, we can text and say, hey, why did you vote no on this? I was going to be a yes. Is there something you know that I don't know?
Yeah.
And so sometimes people think the Senate and House Republicans, for example, are always in lockstep. There's different things that get brought up in debate on different bills in each chamber, and because we're in at the same time, we can't watch each other going, you know, what's going on in each chamber. So we really just have a great opportunity to communicate and make sure that we're doing the best to serve our constituents.
Absolutely. And now going forward, I mean, you got about 5 months now till November. What are some of the issues that you're hearing about the most here locally?
I would say number one is cost of living. For everything, prices have gone up. Mortgage interest, of course, real estate taxes, food, groceries, everything has gone up. So except for paychecks, right?
True.
So paychecks aren't going up by maybe the 30% or whatever that food and everything else has.
Right.
So just trying to find ways that government is not the problem, which unfortunately in Illinois, we are a problem, right?
Yeah.
But we're doing our best to make sure that we are minimizing the burden on taxpayers and on families. So that's one big thing. Public safety is always important in Illinois, especially when we see so many crime reports out of St. Louis, and we're right here at the border. That's always going to be an issue.
Well, and going forward too, how when you're talking with your constituents, is it hard for them sometimes to, and I shouldn't say that, but is it hard to separate the national election and when it comes to a big election like this, 2024? Is it hard to separate the national issues from the local issues, and not for you personally, but just for the district wide?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we get a lot of emails and calls to the office about things that are federal issues that we don't have any control over or that we can't influence. And so we always try to get people to the right person. But a lot of it is just viewpoints on politics that I'm always welcome to hear, but I don't necessarily like my opinion on the presidential
Right.
race is probably not going to sway anyone else's opinion.
Right.
So, and then there's just different things that in an election year, within the district office, I would ask people to understand. So my staff cannot tell you who to vote for.
That's a good point.
Because we legally cannot do that. We cannot advocate for or against certain candidates or anything like that. We can tell you, like, I can do that outside of there, and I can, like, I as the politician, but my staff, if you come in, they cannot say, vote for Amy. Not even me.
Right.
They cannot do that. They have to say, like, they can say, here's who is on the ballot in November, and I can print you a sample ballot from the government website, which is the county clerk's website, but I can't sit there and fill it in for you. So I think that's something important for people to understand. You wouldn't want that because what if we were advocating for something you didn't like?
Right.
You wouldn't want us doing that in a state office that's paid for with state tax dollars. So that's a good thing that we're not going to sit there and tell you who to vote for.
Well, 100%. And now I wanted to ask you a little bit more about just the Safety Act and policing overall. Recently, not even a year ago, we lost Renaya Stewart, who was killed by somebody who was recently just, in prison not too long ago. And is there any talk about maybe making more of a stand to prevent some of these, I hate to say it, but recidivists from coming out of prison and committing the same crime? This morning, we just had another drive-by shooting where the guy accused has already been convicted of second-degree murder, and he's out on our streets.
It is very frightening, and because of the Safety Act and other just, public safety issues that have gone on through the Illinois legislature and other places, we have right to be concerned that someone's going to get out of jail very quickly. You can disagree, or you can agree that you can think that the Safety Act was a good thing,
good concept,
because it got away, because it did away with cash bail. But there are certainly cases where people are getting out of jail and committing more crimes. So one, I think support for our police is just paramount, and I hope they would say that I support them. I think that I do, and that is absolute paramount.
Yes.
And I appreciate every single thing they do, and we should all be so grateful for the services that they provide, most of which we'll never even probably know about.
100%.
But I think that is where that opinion in Illinois that penalty enhancement is a bad thing, or that new penalties are a bad thing, that's where it's very, very frustrating in Illinois. And that we should hold our lawmakers accountable for their votes on that. Absolutely.
And going forward throughout the next couple of months, what does your schedule look like in terms of just getting out and meeting some folks? Because I know that we talked about it. You guys at the state representative level have just groundwork after groundwork to cover. What's it look like in this couple of months while you're actively working and I'm sure campaigning at the same time?
Well, a lot of it is catching up right now from being gone for almost 5 months out of the year in Springfield so much. There's a lot of catch up on meetings and lunches and things like that. So that's fun. And then we get invited to events all the time, busy weekend ahead with various events going on throughout my whole entire district. Actually, I'll hit the whole district, I think, just on Saturday alone. But personally, though, too, I have a lot. I'm on a couple task forces that will meet probably virtually over the summer. I have a lot. I've got a couple conferences I'm attending to. It's all about learning and staying fresh on different legislative topics and ideas, and then continuing it. I'm still a certified public accountant, so I have continuing ed that I have to get done by September. No. So I'm going to be very, very busy on various things, but number one will be just being in the communities that I serve.
And before I let you go, is there anything coming into play in terms of AI and any type of regulation that you guys are seeing state level?
Sure. Yeah, we've passed a bill to make sure that images, especially of children using AI in sexual situations, is outlawed. The Attorney General has been pretty strong on that. I would give him credit for that. And I think as quickly as technology changes, our laws have to adapt to what could be out there. I do feel like people are willing to usually willing to go to bat for children being victims.
Yeah.
And so we just have to keep pushing them on my bill that we talked about.
Exactly right.
So.
Well, and how can, area constituents, maybe, reach out, and maybe they aren't here, but they watch this interview, some portion of the state, and they go, this is a great bill. Can they say, hey, I just learned about Representative Ellick's bill. I'd like you to look into it more.
Absolutely. Contact their own senator.
Yeah.
Just the senators at this point, like I said, because the House has already voted, but the senators, let them know you like and support this bill. And if they're not already a co-sponsor, which many are, have them get on as a co-sponsor, and they can always call me in if they need the details.
Just do it respectfully.
Please.
Yes. But before I let you go, what are you most proud of this session currently? Is because you have a lot really to be proud of, with a lot of bills being passed, a lot of collaboration, a lot of unanimous bills. For you, what is it?
Oh gosh, I would say all of those things. I will tell you, I think just in a general sense, I worked really, really hard this year, and it was a battle to get some of these things through, and I'm super proud that I got 8 bills through the House. It just really feels good to do that, and they're impactful bills that will mean a lot once they take effect.
Absolutely. And is there any is your website up for more up-to-date information on the bills you're being passed throughout the summer?
Yeah. So I would really encourage people to do 2 things. One, visit RepEllick.com. We keep that pretty well updated, and you can also watch like my closing speech for the budget debate that I did this year. Anytime I speak on the floor, they usually isolate that video or audio and they put that on my website. But also you can go on my website and sign up for my email list. And so especially during session here the last couple months, we've been doing almost weekly emails of what's been going on the week prior. It may slow down a little bit this summer, but we definitely are trying to keep a lot of content being sent out to people.
I forgot that. Weren't you recognized as Republican leadership this year? Don't ever let me forget that. So,
I forgot too. Sorry. Yeah.
So I got to ask you about this. Is pretty quick, to kind of rise through the ranks. And I'm not patronizing you because you're here. I even said it in the office, going, "Man, she's only been there." But how does it feel to be recognized so early on for your leadership roles in the Republican Party?
It feels really nice, and I think it's just a sign. If you don't know what else it means I'm really working hard and doing some leadership, or I guess taking advantage of leadership opportunities within the caucus, and was recognized for that. So our leader, Tony McCombie, who's just fantastic, asked me to be a part of her leadership team earlier this year. So I guess I'm Assistant House Republican Leader Amy Ellick. But as far as what does that mean for the district, it means I certainly have a seat at the table within my caucus and have some opportunities within the legislature
and that deal.
that I've worked to get to.
And it's a big deal for us. I mean, it's huge for our district overall. And Representative Ellick, I always love talking to you. I always tell you, 20 minutes, and 30 minutes later, here I am rambling.
Time flies.
But best of luck throughout the summer. If you want to come back on beforehand, you're more than welcome to always.
Appreciate it.
And let me know when that darn bill goes through.
I will. You can bet I will. You can bet I will.
Sounds great. At 9:48, a little bit of business. We started a partnership with Centerstone. On the first and last Wednesday of each month, we talked to somebody from Centerstone to discuss mental health and substance use disorder treatment and some of the options that are available here in Madison County because of the opioid crisis. And folks, if you're looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery, a life free from addiction is possible, and it does start at Centerstone. Centerstone's dedicated clinicians use evidence-based practices in their treatment programs, so that means you aren't getting that same, maybe it worked for 10 years, maybe it didn't. It's developed and tailored for you. There's so many unknowns on that road to recovery, but folks, you can know one thing for sure is that Centerstone will be there every step of the way. You can learn more at recoverwithus.org. That's recoverwithus.org, or by calling 1-877.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1,000,000. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Played Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Played Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com. Welcome back. 10:37, little bit of change. We got Leah Becoat and Becoat. Leah, I told you I was going to do it. I told her I was going to ruin this before it started. I even asked. Never ruin with you. Not in studio.
Yeah.
Leah, how are we doing today?
I'm well. How are you today?
Oh, we're rolling with the punches on a Friday and getting through it. But this is really cool. 3 Purple Coats Productions. I started reading about it a little bit last year with some press releases, and now just getting to talk with you. This is quite the story. Tell just right off the bat. Number one, how are you this morning?
I am well. A little tired, but I'm excited to be in your studio. I have watched many of your videos, so it's kind of cool that I'm here. Yeah.
Well, and now fill me in on how 3 Purple Coats came to be.
Well, I started writing at a very young age in order to cope with a skin disorder that I've had the bulk of my life. And so writing was a way that I would just use my imagination and travel to different places. So let's see, I think I was about 22 or so. I became a mother. So I kind of put down the pen to raise my children. And in 2012, I had to have major surgery, and I lost a job that I really didn't care for. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. And so I said, well, I'll do what I love, which is write. And so in 2013, I wrote a 1-act play titled Playgrounded. I held it in the neighborhood that I grew up in. And over 100 people came out to watch a free 1-act play. And they were like, when's the next one? And that really was my fuel. And so there are 3 sisters, myself, Dee Dee, and Nana. I love the color purple. My last name is Becoat, so 3 purple coats.
It's just wonderful.
Yeah.
And, take me through the first show, because to me, it's really easy to go put on a show somewhere else, because once you put out the flyer, normally people start calling you for advertisement or wanting to be your friend and everything else. But when you're here locally and have all those connections, that can be kind of nerve-wracking once the curtain theoretically goes up on that first show. What were some of your thoughts?
You mean for like the very first one in 2013?
In your neighborhood when you grew up, because to me that would be nerve-wracking, because it's not only, you're in your own neighborhood, I get it, but there's people there, and oh my goodness, I hope this goes well. Did you have any of those feelings?
There is some trepidation.
Okay.
You're mixed with excitement, nervous, but I think the courage and the faith will trump everything. You have to really believe in what God has given you. And so for us, like I said, the show, it was on a gravel parking lot. So my son recalls my mother sweeping the rocks because she wanted everything to be perfect. And so we had silver ladders holding up purple curtains. And I used large black garbage bags to kind of use as draping for the stage.
Yeah.
And I did everything I could. It was like organic. I used everything that I could to, as far as the outdoor elements, to work in my favor. And I mean, I think around 6 or so when the show started, they would just start coming in droves with their chairs and smiles. And I was like, oh my gosh. And once the show was over, they didn't want to leave. They literally, I think because we had created such an atmosphere that was welcoming, and we did our very best. So they were like, when's the next one? So
That's
yeah,
just
there's
wonderful.
always that fear,
Yeah.
but you have to overcome it in order to produce the product.
Well, and that's what I think is so fascinating about this is you really have each show just added to it, and you keep adding and evolving. And how important is that for you in the overall just performance of Three Purple Coats?
You realize that nothing is dead. It's only dormant. It's only sleeping. Ideas that you thought, gosh, I should have written that down, or what happened to that? It's just waiting for the next opportunity or the right opportunity. That's your phone now.
Yeah. It could be one of our doctors.
That's your phone. That's not mine. But it's literally waiting for the ripe and the right opportunity to show itself. So people always ask me about the characters. Was Miss Edwards you? I said, well, I think there's a little bit of Miss Edwards or Sassy Suzanne. So it's like a puzzle. One piece is connected to the next play, which I love. And I don't always know that. It's not until I get into the work that I realize, oh, that was part of that show. So it works together.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, as we get into this now, coming up in just a few short weeks, we're almost into Isn't that crazy?
I cannot believe it. I'm like, wait a minute. July is here.
And now, out of all the shows you've done and produced, does it still feel like just a flash in the pan whenever you get to showtime?
My son, Nigel, he is one of my biggest cheerleaders, and he says, Mom, this isn't your first rodeo. Why are you so scared? Why are you so nervous? Because you never know. And unlike a movie where you can have 100 takes, in theater, you have one.
Yeah.
You have a dress rehearsal, and hopefully you have that. And then once you hit that stage, it's showtime. So whether you flop or you succeed, it's in real time.
Really cool. And now, did you ever have theater in your background growing up?
No.
That's so fascinating to me. And what I think's cool is, you know, we always think in life that we got to do something at a young age to be good at it or be able to do it, but we can do anything at any time if we truly want to put the work in to get it done.
I love that because you're right. There are some people, I think, come out the womb. I know I'm exaggerating.
You're
and
right.
they know exactly what they want to do. Yep. My sister, she's like, I'm going to be an astronaut. Well, she became a doctor, so, she did very well. I, on the other hand, said, I want to be Dynamite Girl. Well, who was Dynamite Girl? I don't know. Maybe Dynamite Girl was a storyteller, a playwright. But I honestly, I didn't know. I don't have any theater background. It just comes naturally.
Yeah.
And people, they're shocked when they come and they say, wait a minute, how do you know how to do all these things? And I'm like, it's a gift.
You know, whenever you're writing your productions, do you ever take inspiration from other things that you watch on television, or is it all internalized? Because I find how your shows line up really fascinating in that respect.
Everything is inspiration.
Really cool.
A walk, a drive, a picnic, a homeless person, church, a flower, a scent. Everything is can serve as a muse. My father, who is an inventor, he says, Leah, everyone borrows from everyone. It's just a matter of, I think, that ebb and flow of life, because as a writer, you're constantly observing things and people. So what I try not to do is read a lot of things, or perhaps if I'm working on something, I try to kind of insulate myself because I don't want to steal. Your subconscious, you're like, wait a minute, I'm writing that. Oh, I just saw that. I better take that out. So, yeah, but everything can serve as inspiration.
That's really fascinating. And now, folks, coming up on August the 3rd at the Alton Riverfront Amphitheater, more fun happening on the riverfront. Number one, right off the bat, before we talk about showtimes and all that, Daniel Nosce is going to join us in about 6 minutes or so, and we'll talk Summerfest. But how did the amphitheater come into play? What was that conversation like, and take me through that partnership? Reason I ask is there's always, you see social media talking about, amphitheater, and it's so hard to get in there, but take me through your experience.
Honestly, I didn't know it was that difficult. I knew that once that amphitheater, I think it was 2007, 8, I don't have the exact date, but when I saw it, I was like, I'm going to have a show there one day.
Yeah.
And not knowing when, but just having that aspiration. And I think timing. I have 10 years now, a decade under my belt with producing, writing, the different, levels of theater and production. So Honeysuckle Love is a digital project that I started in 2022. And Honeysuckle Summer Nights is an extension of that. I really wanted to broaden it. So I submitted my proposal. I was like, hey, maybe this is the right time. So I submitted it, and they accepted it. And I was like, wait, what? They accepted my proposal? And I was excited. And then I was like, what have I done? But, once again, the excitement trumps any fear, and you just have to move forward.
And you did something that everyone else, because I see things, and we always hear things about different entities, and it's like, well, we want to be down there too. Well, create a proposal, send it, and say, here's what I'm going to be bringing to the riverfront. I'd love to be a part of the team. And that's great insight, because things might take a little bit longer to get there, but you got to put the work in to get there.
And I have put in the work. I have literally, when they talk about the mud, I'm like, I think I can prove that. I was in the gravel. We started basically with rocks
with
and ladders.
hefty bags, as Kurt.
Yes, we did.
You earned it, and I'm not patronizing you because you're here. I mean, it just shows
patronizing
though. Well, it just shows though that you just have to hit all the I's and the T's when you're doing your work. You can't just hope for the best that they're going to just reach out and say, hey, we want you here.
Right. You have to have the grit, the grind, and the grace. You do. You got to do it.
Amen. Seriously. Yeah. And now coming up on August the 3rd, 6 p.m. is when the gates open. 7 p.m. is when the show starts, and this is really cool. Honeysuckle Summer Nights at the Alton Amphitheater. I'm going to let you preview it for us. The floor is yours, Senator.
Okay, well, I'm a playwright, storyteller, Leah Becoat. We're Three Purple Coats. We turn life scraps into scripts. Just to kind of backtrack, the actual Honeysuckle is from, as a little girl, my neighborhood, late April, early May. We'd walk to church, was just a few feet away. Bless you. And honeysuckle would be in full bloom, and I was like, oh, it's like God used an enormous atomizer, and he just sprayed the entire block. And so that is where that memory is what gave me the title for Honeysuckle Love and Honeysuckle Summer Nights. And so Honeysuckle Summer Nights is kind of a vaudeville, voice of the city, which is the French term for it, where I bring different local acts together, but it's in a show format. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we're just coming to the microphone and saying, well, here's the Jared Henning Bands. Within each act, there's a small sketch, and that's where I bring the theater, the acting background to the show. So it has very much a show feel, look, and quality. And I'm also going to have a really cool set or cement stage design down there, which I love. I love creating ambiance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, and as you're just detailing that, just those seeing that honeysuckle there, it immediately, it's kind of fascinating you brought that up, because as kids, when I was growing up, we lived on the bluffs, and that honeysuckle's everywhere, and you go pull that yellow stuff out of there and try to get, what I'm talking about?
Yep. That's right. We did the same thing.
Well, what I think's cool though is it's all about perception, because now as an adult, if I see honeysuckle, I'm pissed off. Yeah.
Right.
But as a kid, you got excited about it because it was something to do, and it brought out the vibrancy of the spring and the summer, and I love that tie-in.
Yeah, because somebody, when I hear this, like, I hate honeysuckle. It's everywhere, and it's one of the most invasive. I'm like, okay, well, enjoy the sweet side of honey. I'm trying to change this perspective. And, and such it is with life. There are so many things that can be bitter or draw us away, and this is my sweet offering to the community.
Yeah. Well, I really love this. And now, how is who's going to be up first on the 3rd?
The first act is a dancer, and they're gonna groove. You're too young to know this. There's a song, "Groove Line" by Heatwave. It's from the '70s. It's high energy, so they're gonna start off with that high energy. Then we go into some Etta James by Michelle Ross. She's known as the funeral singer, so she is all around the Midwest. So she is excited to not sing at a funeral, but she gets to have this cool Etta James song, "I'd Rather Go Blind."
Yep.
And then we have Coach Jada Moore. People know her as this the phenomenal basketball coach in Alton, but she has a beautiful voice. She's going to give us some Shaka Khan.
Oh, nice.
But like I said, the way we introduce each act, it's related. So it's not, there's a through line, a theme for the entire night. So you're not just getting a here, there. You're getting some of everything, but it all ties together. We have the Jared Hennings Band with jazz.
He's wonderful. He's wonderful.
Yeah. We have a young up-and-coming artist. So a lot of local Texas Hold'em, a young lady who was in America's Got Talent as a teen. So we have a variety, but there is a through line, which I think people are going to really enjoy. And my actors, so...
Well, and I'm really excited about this. What do you think the audience is going to take away as they're viewing the show on August the 3rd at 7 p.m.?
They are going to see professionalism, poise, beauty, grace, power, all the tools that I have, acquired over the years. They'll see that down there. And the way we set the stage and just create the atmosphere for people to come out, bring your own chair, and enjoy a good time. We are going to have a few food vendors there.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so Lulu's, Shaved Ice.
Yep.
I think it's Heavenly Scent, a popcorn.
Oh, yeah, they're my neighbor, my parents' neighbor, Greg War. Yep. Wonderful man, wonderful family.
And a few others, so people can, have a cool drink or something to eat while they enjoy the show. And then from 9 to 10, Retro Boogie out of St. Louis will jam out and people can dance or just sit there and enjoy the music.
Now, how much are tickets and where can we get our hands on them?
Tickets are $15. I wanted to keep, they are because I want it to be affordable for people to be able to come out. It's ages 18 and over because, I'd like the adults to have some adult time.
Yeah.
They can get them at Today's Beauty on Central Avenue, Eventbrite. They can call 618-670-2395 or inbox 3 Purple Coats Productions on Facebook or at the gate.
Well, I got a proposition for you here,
Sure.
Leah. Well, I know that you're busy, but why don't you come back on this, second to last week of July, and we do another promotion on this?
Maybe
because
I can bring one
bring
of
a
the
performer.
actors or
Seriously,
performers,
bring someone, and let's keep talking about this. I love what you're doing. I love you as a person. I really do, just from the time I've gotten to talk with you on the phone. And we're going to keep promoting this. I'm just a huge fan, and just keep up the great work. We're going to talk to Leah again in a month, so don't worry about missing any details. We'll link it all on Riverbender like always. But thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
And I'll see you in a month.
All right.
We'll be back with Summerfest after this.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car. I have a job. There's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey, Sherry.
Talk to me, Dream Team.
Without showing.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Welcome in. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
You were very vibrant after I double booked your time slot.
Hey, it's all right. It's all right. We're flexible at Lewis and Clark. We're there when you need us.
So you did something that we all need. Oh, hold on here. Sorry, I was in the groove with Honeysuckle Summer Nights. Getting into this, I always tell people your segments are going to go probably longer. This time's a little different because, just timing, but we're going to go until we're done talking here. Bring some goodies.
Yeah,
just bring some breakfast. Bring something. And I got a 48-gallon Lewis and Clark tumbler, which I love, by the way, because I go through a gallon of water down here. But look at my Blazer pennant. I love this. This is my favorite one.
Yes.
Hold on. Wait, there's more. I love the LC shirts. The new ones are cool.
Yes. We have coined that, and I am, you are, we are LC.
That's cool, man. Well, how's it been just at the college?
It's been good. We've been going full steam ahead on a whole bunch of things, from Summerfest to new student orientation to Welcome Week to attending any event that we can get into and just trying to push Summerfest as much as possible.
Well, and now Summerfest, did it start last year?
Yes. So it's it began, I believe, 3 years ago, and then we revamped it last year to make it more of a community friendly, a community oriented event.
An open house.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think's so cool about this, man, because we don't really talk about the benefit of Lewis and Clark a lot. We hear people talking about taxes and everything else, but let's be honest, nowhere else in the state of Illinois are you going to find a community college that has, number one, the programs, number two, the aesthetical design. Drive up to Lincoln Land and you'll see a prison.
That's one building.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying though?
Yes.
It's just we have a junior college that really has the sights, the sounds, and the programs of a D3 university.
Absolutely.
And it's just amazing. So take me through Summerfest coming our way, July 11th, 4 to 7. What's happening in it?
Yeah, so this time we are back and better than ever and bigger as well. We are having food trucks out there. We're having the petting zoo out there. We're having the face painters out there, and we're having the rock wall and inflatables. And this time we've added the Alton Municipal Band. Shout out to Adam.
I saw that you're the sound guy for now. Good for you, man. So coming up to, what food truck's going to be there?
Right now we've got LeMay's Catering. LeMay's Catering is for sure locked in, and then I was looking at a few other dessert trucks, and then some. We're also going to have scooters there, and then fingers crossed I'm going to try and land Shivers and Bunkhouse Joe's Coffee.
Really cool. And now just going through, I mean, you got inflatables, petting zoos, face painting, climbing wall. I mean, go above and beyond. Nonprofit organizations are going to be there, academic programs. So this is really for everybody just to come out and be a part of.
Absolutely, all ages, and like our nonprofit block, and we've also added for-profit vendors as well. So I just spoke with the owner. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but we are going to have a vendor that's selling freeze-dried candy.
Wow.
So we're going to have that. Cool. And then they're also going to be, there's a candle company that's coming out. And so there's going to be a lot of different vendors. Some of them are going to be handing out information. Others are going to be selling some product. But overall, the vibe for Summerfest is that it's free and it's fun and it's for the family.
Absolutely. And now, too, it goes from 4 to 7, but at 7's when the band starts.
7 is when the band starts. So
it's on the grass?
Yep, it is going to be on the grass. So we had a little bit of a water pipe issue on the main campus.
Wow.
And so the main building, where that looks like a big castle, essentially is getting all dug up around that area. So we moved that back to, which I'm sure you're familiar with, near the soccer field.
Yep.
It's going to be the back parking lot, and there's that nice grassy area.
Tim Rooney Stadium.
Absolutely, Tim Rooney Stadium. It's going to be very close to there, and the cicadas are gone, so we won't have cicadas flying everywhere in our face. So fingers crossed for a great time. I've been watching the weather every 2 hours, even though it's still 2 weeks away. I was watching the weather a month ago, and I was like, I know, I'm going to pin this down now. And I was like, nope. But it looks like it's going to be a sunny day. It's going to be a hot one as it was last year, so make sure you bring some sunscreen. And if you don't, that's okay, because we're going to have sunscreen giveaways as well.
Really cool. Now, free stuff?
Yes, free stuff. We're going to have some t-shirts to give away. We're going to have some sunscreen to give away. I might convince them to give away some of the tumblers.
Good luck. Yeah. This thing's a tank. I'm telling you what, this is high quality stuff.
Absolutely.
And BPA free.
Yes. And so, yeah, the one thing I definitely would love for people to bring, other than themselves and their families and their pets, bring chairs.
Yeah.
Bring chairs to hang out and enjoy the summer and grab some food. And we extended it. Last time we had from 4 to 6. We have now moved from 4 to 7. So that way, if you're getting right off work, we have food trucks available for you. We got dinner right there for you, and then dinner and a concert.
And how much is it to get in?
Free. F-R-E-E. That spells free.
There you go. Free! I'll just double that one
Absolutely.
up. There you go. But, what's the fun about putting this together, man?
Oh, the fun part, honestly, is the promotion.
Yeah.
Because I get to go out and bug all of these businesses, say, hey, can you put this flyer up for me? And then I get to bombard everybody that I come across with, have you ever heard of Summerfest? And so I'll be out at July 3rd fireworks down at the amphitheater. If you see me, I'll probably be wearing this shirt or something that looks a lot like this shirt.
Or it'll be washed before then.
Absolutely. I'll find another blue one. I figured the jacket is just gonna be a little bit too hot to wear, but at least I'll still be wearing the blue.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'll be out at July 3rd's fireworks, and then I'll be out at Godfrey's fireworks, and then anywhere else I can. I've got 700 of these flyers to get rid of. So,
well, and I know that we're kind of running up to it, but career services, all of those things where if people wanted to know more about Lewis and Clark and how to enroll, they can do that there too.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. All that's going to be there. And one of the programs that's not going to be there, though, unfortunately, is our drone program. We are starting a drone program, and it is.
Oh, sorry, that's my drone sound.
Yeah. And so the drone program is going to be really cool. It is non-credit class, but I believe it's going to be. I think it's only $500, and it'll set you up for the licensing, and you'll take the test, and you will have your drone license. So that's going to be dropping really soon. So Lewis and Clark's always got something up its sleeve with trying to add some new things.
You find me a junior college that's doing this type of stuff, and I'll be waiting here for a while, I think. I'll probably be here for 10 more, which actually is good. Please do, so John has to pay me for another 10 years. But, going through it, just a couple more questions for you. Nonprofit orgs, if they're still interested, if there's a nonprofit, could they call you and say, we want to be there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right now, I have 31 booked.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah, I have 31 booked.
Good job, man.
And so we actually ran out of tables. We have to go to St. Peter's to rent more tables in order for people to have some places to sit. But yeah, we have 31 nonprofits, and then I believe 8 for-profit vendors. And Izzy the Grizzly from the Gateway Grizzlies is coming on out.
There you go.
And so I'm still trying to get the River Dragon there, but I know that they have their games on Thursdays. So fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
We will. Well, Daniel, you got about a minute left. Give us your elevator pitch of Summerfest,
Absolutely. Man. Well, be sure to come on out to Summerfest. It is a fun, free family event from 4 to 7 p.m. 7 p.m. is when the Alton Municipal Band is going to perform their children's concert, and it's going to be a great time. It's going to be hot, but it's going to be so much fun you won't even realize it's hot outside.
There you go. How about that? We out of here at 11:04 and a little bit of change. We'll see you on Monday, July the 11th, though. Grab you, your family, your pets, and head on over to Lewis and Clark from 4 to 7 p.m. for Summerfest. On that note, have a good weekend. Try your best to stay out of jail.